Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages across all races and nations and denominations, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today, bringing you guys and gals One Punch Man Episode 4 review, not live reaction. Now here's the thing, I did watch the episode 2 days ago, and my copyright strike was null and void today. So that's good. So I uploaded the episode 2 live reaction. I'll put a link in the box below. And basically, because I'd already seen the episode 2 days ago, I decided not to do a live reaction of the episode. But episode 5 will be getting a live reaction. There is no doubt about it. Episode 5 is getting a live reaction. Now, that being said though, ladies and gentlemen, this episode, alright, was the introduction of Speed of Sound Sonic, and it is Saitama now he's taking the legitimate step into becoming a full-blown hero. Now granted, he's a hero for a hobby, but now he's going to register for the Hero Association so he can get some credit when he actually beats these monsters. He's been, he's been a hero for 3 years, and he hasn't registered with the association. And so he's been taking out all these OP dudes, and no one knows his fucking name. Like, you would think Bald Guy Cave, One Punch, yeah. Now, granted, he's not running around boasting about it. Oh, yeah, like, I beat like this one big guy. No, he's not doing that. But here in this episode, you have this random guy, all right? Moomin Writer. And I think in the manga, it's a licenseless writer, whatever. And the whole thing here is that this Moomin Writer dude, who got his ass murked, gets all the credit for beating the Paradisers, even though it was Sonic and Saitama beat Sonic, but basically he gets the credit for getting his ass whooped. Like, no, that shouldn't be happening. So Saitama is now taking the step. He's going in the right direction to become a legend. All right, he will become a legend, no doubt about it. So that being said, the animation episode, it's very dynamic, it's not as sharp, honestly, as episode 2. Episode 2, like, I don't know what's going on, but compared to episode 2 and 1, episodes 3 and 4 are not as sharp from the way I see things. Like, they're way more dynamic, I'll give you that. Like, Sonic just running around cutting heads off. Like, that was really dynamic, don't get me wrong, but it's not as sharp, and I'm not too sure what's going on there. So, I mean, granted, I do understand how the animators, how it works when it comes from an animation standpoint when it comes to Japanese companies like Madhouse. But I figure they would at least try and get the same individuals to come back to do the same sharp animation as they did in episode 1 and 2. That's what I'd figure. Because One Punch Man is a series in Japan that is spiking in popularity. And for obvious reasons. So, again, it's not bad animation, at least from my standpoint, because it's, very dynamic. There's a lot of strafes, there's a lot of, blurs and whatnot. And when you have faces like Sonic's face that are sharp, but from an overall standpoint, it's not as sharp in comparison to episode 1 and 2. That's all I'm saying. So animation overall, pretty damn good. Now, when it comes to the overall pacing, it felt really fast, man. Granted, Speed of Sound Sonic, lol. Like, man, like, I wish Genos actually did the lol in the episode. That would have been great, but he didn't, shit. But either way, the whole thing here is that the pacing was really fast, because at the beginning of the Paradisers, they announced themselves, and they're just marching down, trying to take down this one guy, Zeniru, and all of his Zeniru, Zeni meaning money, whatever. And how he, basically they don't want to work to get food, to get shelter. Like, why can't we all just share and live in this, utopia and whatnot. And basically what it comes down to is this whole notion that they represent what Saitama could have been if Saitama went in the wrong direction. Now, that being said, all that was covered in, honestly, 3 minutes. And then from then on, it's, straight up Speed of Sound Sonic. He's on the hunt. He kills all these guys in a few seconds time. And then in comes, I forgot what this guy's name was, alright? The actual leader of the Paradisers. Hammerhead. Boom. Hammerhead actually wasn't bad in combat. He wasn't bad at all. But still a bitch with Sonic. I mean, Sonic, he had his number. And there were a lot of scenes in there where I was like, bro, like, when he had the rocks thrown at Sonic, he made his pathway. Sonic's like, okay, so this guy's a fucking idiot. And then he had the rock and shit, but he fooled him, and he had a tree instead to wedge in between the rocks. And when Sonic was, like, sprinting, and he's, like, breaking the sound barrier, like, 15 times over, I'm like, yo, that was a fantastic scene. But even though, technically, it was, like, what, 10, 12 minutes? It felt like it was 5, honestly. Like, personally, the pacing I thought was very fast. Very fast pacing. And I'm not, saying that it was necessarily bad, because given the way the manga is structured, will constitute several chapters in, a manga, like 6 or 7, could be easily one episode in an anime. And One Punch Man, in One Punch Man, it's strongly the case, because in One Punch Man, for example, in the manga, I recall when Speed of Sound Sonic is just running, when he's blitzing around Saitama, that they did like a weird panoramic like manga like scene where that must have taken up like at least half a chapter, if not an entire chapter, of just them showing Saitama looking at Speed of Sound Sonic just blitzing around. That was at least half a chapter. I shit you not. So that could easily constitute like 20 seconds in anime, easily. So like I'm not surprised, again, given that the manga is structured the way it is, but the pacing was fast. So it's not bad, but it was fast. Now, overall character development and character introduction and whatnot. And, well, story-wise, very simple. Speed Sound Sonic and then Saitama going over to the Hero Association to register as a legitimate hero, to actually get some dinero for his, one-punch ability. Now, that's obviously huge for the overall, that's massive for the overall story. And then you have Speed Sound Sonic, who is like his pseudo rival. Like, Saitama has no genuine rivals. Like, he one punches motherfuckers. Like, there's no rival to Saitama. There's just not. Okay? Oh, I'm gonna be your rival. Yeah, whatever, dog. And then that's it. That's it. So, for now, Speed Sound Sonic is his pseudo rival. So, and Speed Sound Sonic is a fairly relevant character in the overall story of One Punch Man. So, we will say that his character introduction is fairly big. Now, when it comes to so that was overall story and character introduction and whatnot. When it comes to characterization, we basically understand how Saitama feels now that he's seen not only him not being recognized for his feats as a hero, but also how he could have, gone astray from his path. And that harkens back to, I think, episode 1 or episode 2, where we get pretty much the insight. We get the backstory of Saitama as to how he became the guy that he is today. And how he was unemployed. He didn't have, any, he couldn't find work anywhere. He was always getting thrown out after interviews. And he lost the will to live, basically. So when the crab guy was going to kill him, he's like, well, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Because my life sucks right now. It is what it is. And so he had fallen into, like, despair because of that reason. And so if he had not decided to save that kid, for example, if he had not decided to save that kid and kill the crab guy, he may have turned out to be like the Paradisers. And also, I remember one thing that's very important with the Paradisers. The Paradisers, they have these battle suits that they stole from some organization. The organization is called Organization, literally. And the fact of the matter is that these guys let the Paradisers steal the suits so they can get, data and whatnot. But there is some organization in the background that is plotting some very nefarious stuff. That's very obvious. So, there's some guy with, like, tentacles and shit, or like wires, whatever. Then there's some other armored dude. They're evil. They're bad guys, all right? And we have the story hyping these guys up. But, at the end of the day, Saitama, that's it. That's all he needs. That's the beauty of it. So, getting back to what I was saying before, basically, Saitama, he understands that. And it hits him a certain way, which you can't really tell given his fucking facial expression because he's just, you know, stale ass face. But it does hit him a certain way, and it does show that to a certain degree, even though he's bored because he's so powerful, he is grateful for not at least going down that route. Sonic, you know, him having like the bleed face and whatnot, that just shows you that he's a sick guy, right? Like, he wants to test out these techniques and kill fuckers. He's a ninja born in some shinobi village and some shit. Like, he's basically Konoha bred. And if anything, when it comes to, you know, sharp, you know, animation, that punch to the balls, like, I mean, this guy is not having kids. There's no way that area can function properly. Now, granted, there is some leeway because Saitama didn't move his arm. It just so happened that the momentum of Sonic hit his fist, and his nuts were like, oh no. But his fist is like fucking like a planet, dude. It's like, oh my, no, dude, no. Like, he has to walk bow-legged from now on. He can't afford to walk normally. Straight up. But that's it, I'm done. So, the episode overall. My personal opinion, I think it's a great episode. Again, I have a bias. I'll admit that here now. But, I mean, things are progressing smoothly. Things are, of course, very entertaining. They're awesome overall. Character-wise, even Saitama, even though he's, you know, bored, he's still getting characterization. You have good character introductions. You have, you know, these subplots being developed in the backstory constantly. Keep an eye out for this nefarious group that allow the Paradisers to steal their suits, and that's really it. So, overall episode's gonna be great plus. Nah, peace out, Sonic. Yeah, not great plus, and I'm done. So, King of Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a nice goddamn day.